It is time for Subnautica Biology with Chameleon. Greetings, ladies and gents, and welcome back to Subnautica. It is time for a little bit of a lesson. A lesson you guys have been telling me for the longest time. I should be reading more of my PDA. So, with the help of Darwin, thank you Darwin, also known as that French dude, you were so kind to help me and provide. I'm sorry. I have to sound kitschy and I have to sound rich and look rich. Anyway, with the help of Darwin, he was so kind to provide me with a list of things that I should read or not read. But actually I'm going to read everything, and in this episode I'm going to read the non-essential things. So if you are mostly interested in the Let's Play and the very important parts of the Let's Play, you can skip this video. If you want to know more about the lore and the planet we are on, go watch and listen to this Let's Play, which I guess will be more some kind of thing like a vlog or a podcast even. We are just going to read in our PDA. Maybe I will go off and find some food or some water while I'm dehydrating or whatever. But that's what we're gonna do. So we're gonna go to the data bank. I'm gonna start out with the blueprints. Now let's see. Air pumps. Okay, maybe I'm not going to read everything. Like the blueprints are, this is what it does and this is how it works, right? So I'm just gonna see handheld scanner. So you can scan things, organism analysis, medical analysis, the self-scan and all that stuff. Not really interesting. The radiation suit that we got, the repair tool that we got. Well, that was the equipment. Habitat installations, the aquarium. So those are things that we can build into our ship then. The fabricator, which we already have. A habitat builder, which is what we have. Modification station, we do not have that yet. The moon pool, we do have that. The planters and pots. That sounds like we can spice up the place with plants. The scanner room, we do have that. And the solar panel, we have that too. So many habitat installations we already have. Power. A bioreactor, and a thermal plant. Both things we don't have yet. Vehicles. The Cyclops, which is things we are searching right now, but we don't have it.
Detecting increased foreign bacteria levels in the water. Performing a self-scan is advised.
We'll save that for the Let's Play video. This is the reading part. A mobile vehicle. Why are there fish in my... That was weird. Mobile vehicle bay, we have that. The sea glide, we have that. The sea moth, we definitely have Chloe. And the vehicle upgrade console, we also have that with Ferdinand and Frederick. And I don't know. So I guess that was the blueprints. That was the blueprints. What else do I have on my list? I have the geological data on my list. That might be interesting. Let's see. A oh boy. 4546B environment scan. Category 3 ocean planet, oxygen nitrogen atmosphere, extensive biodiversity. Safety warnings. May support Leviathan class predators. Right. We read this one already, didn't we? Water contaminated with high levels of foreign bacteria. The planet is beyond Federation space. Rescue unlikely. Yeah, that is all the things that we already know. It is not recommended to explore this environment without hazardous material suits and extensive support apparatus. Great! Limestone outcrops. But we know what that is. These unusual geological structures often form around titanium and copper deposits and are distinct to this planet. Closer analysis reveals the stone around the metal has been hardened against erosion, but the mechanism remains unknown. Assessment. Titanium and copper source. Okay. Ruby. A hard, blood-red gemstone made of aluminum oxide. Rubies may be processed in order to leverage their structural integrity in advanced vehicle construction and modification. Assessment. Essential for advanced fabrication. So can I then use rubies to, say, upgrade Chloe, for example? That would be cool. Sandstone outcrops. These common, porous outcrops seem to form around small amounts of precious metals, or otherwise these metals are part of a sedimentary buildup over time. Assessment. Lead, silver and gold source. Yeah, we definitely know that. How about lithium? Anybody can tell me where I can find some lithium? No? Okay then. The scattered wreckage. Analysis confirms this wreckage is from the Aurora. No kidding. Outer layers of the material have oxidized, suggesting it has been heated to over 1200 Celsius. Oh boy, that's really warm. That's really hot. Yes, definitely. This pattern is consistent with hull disintegration during atmospheric entry. Salvage of intact portions of Altera vessels is prohibited at legal, moral, and technical levels. However, scraps such as these may be reclaimed for their titanium content at any Altera fabricator. I was aware of that, but thank you, game. And then we still have, let's see, the survival package. Let's go for that one first, and then we also have the indigenous life forms. Additional technical, 2 birth emergency lifeboat. But you mean Chris, right? The 2 Chris emergency lifeboat. That's what we can. It's Chris, right? We can all see that. Standard features: short range radio, 250 kilometers uninterrupted range. Wall-mounted fabricator for survival equipment manufacture and for rendering organic substance edible. Okay, cool. Medical kit fabricator. Onboard air brake and flotation devices for land, sea, or space recovery. Solar power cells ×3. Emergency exits in the floor and roof. Yeah, that's all very true. We all know that. Standard provisions: 2x all environment protection suits, 2x ready-to-eat nutrient blocks, 2x drinking water provisions, 1x emergency medkit, 2x emergency flares. Yeah, we used and all those things. And yeah, I can remember that. Okay. And B. Some lifeboats may be equipped with different supplies, such as radiation suits and replacement parts. Board the right lifeboat for the right situation. Are you freaking kidding me? You guys have a lot of lifeboats and then you have like different lifeboats on the Aurora, for example. It's like, oh, we are going to an ocean planet. Everybody go to lifeboat C. But lifeboat C can only house like 4 people maybe. Why would you do that? Why would you make so many different lifeboats? Just give everything to all of them. The all-environment protection suit. So this is not the radiation suit then. This is the suit that we got at the start. The Altera AEP suit. A single solution for a universe of infinite danger. You are currently wearing the AEP suit. A hermetically sealed personal environment designed to withstand the most extreme conditions in the known universe. Onboard temperature and hydration regulation. Compatible with a range of attachments. Slime line built for maximum freedom of movement, biometric sensors, and contextual heads-up display. The AEP suits should always be equipped before lifeboat launch, in case of hull breach. Well, thank you for that information. Aurora ship status. Ship class Altera long range capital ship. Mission Adriane Arm Fezgate installation. 3-year operation time. Okay. Crew Command Team 23, Engineering Team 85, Support Crew 40, Passengers 9. So this is all the things we know about the Aurora. I wonder what I was. Was I from the Command Team, the Engineering Team, Support Crew, or the Passengers? Seeing as I am very capable of surviving and building stuff, I would guess I'm from the Engineering Team. Status. Sustained heavy damage in orbit of planet 4546b. Cause unknown. Evacuation data unavailable. Well, I know what caused it. How about that big gigantic laser tower that shot down the sunbeam? Maybe it was that. Engineering section. Dark matter ion drive core V8. Manned robotics suite. Advanced scanner suite. Long range communications relay. A 0.25 cubic kilometer storage for phasegate apparatus. Phasegate, sorry. Habitation section. Accommodation for 150 people. Multiple canteens serving healthy, fresh and rehydrated food. Leisure facilities including VR suite and virtual cinema. Damn, that sounds like a great ship. It's just sad that maybe we can get there someday, sometime. Start here. Start here. If you are reading this, then you have survived an emergency evacuation of a capital class ship equipped with Altera technology. Congratulations! The hard part is over. Really? Ha! You don't even know what you're talking about. Your PDA has automatically rebooted in emergency mode. This operating system has one directive: to keep you alive on a hostile alien world. If that is not possible, it will alert salvage teams to the location of your remains. Great. It features full monitoring of vital signs for timely survival advice, blueprints for fabricating a range of essential survival equipment tailored to your environment, onboard camera, microphone, and OCR technology for short-range situational analysis, cross-compatibility with all Altera-compliant products. And B, your personal and work files have been encrypted and may be retrieved at a later date by a licensed engineer. Oh, so that's why I do not know anything about myself then, because it's all encrypted. Survival checklist. Administer first aid if required. Check. Take inventory of all of available materials and supplies and decide on rations. Check. Survey the environment for threats and resources. Check. Construct necessary survival equipment using the lifepod's fabricator. Check. Check the lifepod for damage and repairs as necessary. Check. Broadcast local distress signal using lifepod's short-range radio. Check. Locate other survivors using line of sight or the radio. Check. Find or construct a more permanent habitat. Check. Maintain physical and psychological health until rescue. Well, I'm the one talking to a camera here in the emptiness of my room. Am I psychological stable? NB, this information is meant as a general guide. In the first instance, you should always follow the advice of your PDA, which has taken your particular circumstances into account. Oh, thank you. Warning. Blueprint database corrupted. Yeah, that's what I already thought. Damage to your PDA's hard drive has corrupted approximately 80% of stored survival blueprints. Blueprints may be required by scanning a salvage technology using the handheld scanner or by downloading plans from a shipboard databox. In circumstances, these assets will most likely be found amongst the wreckage from the Aurora. That's what we already did. So the last thing we still can go for is the indigenous life forms, which is a lot of reading because there's just a lot here. So here is the actual crux of this episode, biology with chameleon. Well, kind of. You know what? We should actually eat something before we're going to do this. I'm gonna go grab some food and some water. I'll be right back. Yoo-hoo! So that is done. Let's take a little sippy once again. Well then, biology time. Brain coral. A permanent growing colony of microscopic organisms. This coral species has adapted to filter carbon dioxide from the environment, using the carbon to build the colony, and expelling the oxygen from specialized exhaust funnels. It is quite hardy, suggesting samples from a mature specimen could be grown artificially. Ooh, that's cool. Assessment. Air tanks are equipped to siphon oxygen from the water where possible. So this is what I know about this thing, is that these bubbles that pop up, we can actually dive into them and then we can breathe from them. Thanks, brain coral. Coral shell plate. This variant of coral has adapted to survive in close proximity to other corals, filtering nutrients from the water and sharing them via a spore-like substance which grows around the base. Assessment. No practical applications discovered. Giant coral tubes. The variety of coral formations on 4546b appear to be different solutions to the same problem of maximizing water and nutrient flow throughout the colony. These particular variants funnel water down a tube, filtering nutrients as they pass. Their size suggests they have been highly successful. Well, indeed, we can actually just dive through them, right? Assessment. Coral tube samples are rich in calcium, exploitable in bleach fabrication. But we already knew that, that's how we make bleach. Table coral. Each disc is an individual colony of microorganisms filtering nutrients from the water. Growth patterns. What are all the fishes doing in my moon pool? Go away. Growth patterns indicate the colonies are in direct competition. Go away, fishes! Direct competition for positions with superior currents or light. Unlike other coral species, its structure is malleable, softly pulsating as it pumps nutrients to its extremities, and only turning rigid when it senses physical assault. The jewel-like nodes in the surface are concentrated buildups of rare minerals the coral is unable to process. Assessment. Exploitable in computer chip fabrication. Ooh, computer chips. Oh, but we knew that. We can use table coral for computer chips. We haven't made any computer chips yet, I believe. Or maybe we have. Can't remember. Tree mushrooms! I remember those from the biome. Analysis of these large organic structures reveals a microcosm of cooperating, cohabitating, and competing life forms. The main trunk is a special species of coral, some colonies up to 50,000 years old. Wow. The caps which line its share more in common with earth fungi. Other organisms grow on the structure wherever there is space and light. Surrounding waters are dense with herbivore lime forms in the 1mm to 10mm range, to the extent that larger herbivores appear to have mostly abandoned the area. Cool. That's very, very cool. I love that biome. It's the best biome so far that we found. Carnivores. That sounds like fun. The biter. I really hate that guy. I really hate those guys. Biters. Vicious. Pack hunting predator. 94% muscle. 4% connective tissue. 2% brain. Of course. Indiscriminate when hungry. Almost always hungry. Specialized olfactory antenna. Right, that's the antenna on top of its head right over there. Employed in detection of bodily fluids in the water at impressive ranges. Alright. Secondary pair of eyes. Likely dedicated to detecting the feral movement of larger predators and hungry members of its own species. Overdeveloped tail fin. Favors outpacing and outnumbering their prey over individual maneuverability. Calculations suggest creature up to 100 times the biter's body weight could succumb to a focused assault by a pack of 10. Wow, it's really like piranhas then. Assessment. Avoid packs. Try not to bleed. Thank you. The crash fish. Oh god, that guy. Oh, don't like those at all either. None of these fish. Yeah, there are some fishes I do like. The crash fish. This unusual species has developed an emergency defense mechanism based on mutually assured destruction. Right. Forward mounted eye. Enables the creature to identify and track potential predators. Sulfur plant. The sulfur plant has evolved to feed on sulfuric compounds secreted by the crashfish, which makes its nest within its leaves. Stronger, more protective plants provide superior nesting grounds, which in turn provide the plant with more nutrients from larger crashfish. Defense mechanism. Concentrations of sulfur build up in the organism over time. If the crashfish collides with something at sufficient speed, the spikes on its torso are impacted, triggering an explosive chemical reaction. We have found that firsthand quite some time already. Assessment. Equip stasis rifle, repulsion cannon, or similar before approaching shallow caves. Oh, we can actually do something about this. A stasis rifle and a repulsion cannon. Don't think I've heard of those things yet. The sand shark. You look so lovely. A powerful, medium-sized predator that burrows into the sand and ambushes its prey from below. As with many predators, it may be possible to temporarily distract sand sharks by feeding any hungry specimens that draw close. One forward dorsal fin. The unusual location of this fin suggests a purpose unrelated to movement throughout the water, and may be employed in shifting sand beneath the surface, or in mating rituals, or maybe simply be an evolutionary dead end. Could be. Segmented exoskeleton. Yeah, we've definitely seen that. It's like a carapace, like insects have. Thick armor plating renders the sand shark almost immune to attacks from above. While it is capable of impressive acceleration, its exoskeleton prevents it from changing direction quickly. The sand shark is thus a perfectly designed ambush hunter, but ill-suited to sustain pursuits. Feet. Ill-designed for ambulation, likely used to disturb the surface of the sand so the life form can burrow into the ground. Assessment. Avoid. Be vigilant for ambush in sandy biomes. Right, do you have feet? Oh, number 3. That's what we read. You see it here on the picture as well. 1, 2, 3, and 3 is down there. So those little spikes over there are number 3, which are its feet it uses to burrow. Nice. The stalker! Some of them are just swimming outside right now. It's really nice. A streamlined predator encountered in the kelp forests in weight of prey, leaving the safety of the shallows to feed. The stalker likely carved out its evolutionary niche at the sweet spot between speed and size millions of years ago, and maybe one of the oldest species on the planet. Isn't like just like the peeper in the stalker? Aren't those one of the first fishes the developers have designed? Is this a little notch towards that? That would be cool. The stalker appears to be attracted to titanium deposits, which tends to sharpen and put stress on its teeth. As with many predators, it may be possible to temporarily distract hungry stalkers by feeding them. We can feed them? That's cool. Okay, teeth. The stalker's teeth are unusually hard and fast growing. Its elongated snout can deliver huge biting pressure to large attackers, while also being used to reach small herbivores seeking refuge amongst the rocks. Night vision. Retinal layering on the eyeball suggests adapting for nighttime hunting. Ooh, okay, that's good to know. Dorsal ridges. These ridges can be moved independently to deliver superior maneuverability, right? pelvic fins. Long and powerful, the stalker has evolved to hunt the fastest of prey. I bet he has. He's not that fast though, my glider is faster. Assessment. Stalker teeth may have applications in enabled glass fabrication. Right, but how do I get the stalker teeth? I found one by accident, but is there a way to actually, like, hunt for them or get more of those things? I do not know. The warper. That was a really, really weird thing. Alright, the warper. An aggressive creature with the ability to teleport itself and others in space. Others? You can teleport others? Like me? No genetic crossover identified with indigenous life forms. Demonstrates no recognized defensive behavior. Okay. Head. Mechanisms located in the head region provide its warping capability, which it uses to stalk its targets. Okay. Torso. Appears to hunt other life forms, but no digestive organs have been identified. That's interesting. Why is that? Internal structure considerably more complex than other known organisms, unable to distinguish whether organic or artificial in nature. Artificial? Assessment. Further research required. You might be artificial, like created by something or someone else. Okay. Herbivores. Small. The bladderfish. Ah, my source of water most of the time. The bladderfish. This unusual herbivore appears to be mostly defenseless and bears little resemblance to the other life forms around it. Semi-permeable bladder, that's what I thought. The bladderfish is able to filter air and seawater into its body cavity through a unique membrane which surrounds its spine, like a bladder. This allows it to remove and consume organic particulates caught on the way, and adjust its buoyancy. Open-ended vascular tubing. Can be angled and contracted to pump out water and achieve low-velocity guided propulsion. Largely obvious to threats, and particularly immobile at night, its only identified defense mechanism is that it's composed almost entirely of water, air, and cartilage. Assessment. Edible. Oxygen may be retrieved from the bladder and added to tanks on consumption. Oh. Membrane has applications as a natural water filter. We know that natural water filter. Like I said, that's how we get our water. The boomerang! A herbivore encountered in large numbers, found to frequent shallow waters and move in schools. Serrated teeth. Suggests adapting for grinding corals. Other herbivores are unable to digest. So you eat... Oh, you have those sharp little teeth on the front of your boomerang head. So you eat coral. Okay. Twin fins. Usually, this species' two fins are a cartilaginous extension of its skeleton. Alright. They are less prone to damage and provide superior propulsion, but are also harder to grow back. The bright blue tips are in fact the ends of its digestive tract, where the luminescence of the corals it consumes is most focused. Cool! That's awesome! Most active during daylight hours and prone to flee on approach, the boomerang can more easily be observed at night, when its luminescence gives it away and it seeks the shelter of the seabed. Assessment. Edible. It's cool that all of these fish and all of these things are something that the developers really thought about, you know? It all, on the surface, does seem to make sense. The Gary fish! Gary! Slow-moving and curious herbivore, camouflage indicates adapting for evasive behavior on the ocean floor. Eye stalks. May be beneficial when watching for predators from hiding places amongst the coral. 2. Behavior. More active during daylight hours, but slow and docile at all times. The Garyfish survival depends on a combination of camouflage and predators who can get a more filling meal elsewhere. Assessment. Edible. The whole fish. With the hole in its tail, so whole fish makes sense, right? The whole fish. A very small herbivore found in low numbers, often around cave system entrances where their skin coloration blends into the background. Bored out tail fin. Yes. By manipulating the size and shape of the hole in its tail, it can perform unpredictable maneuvers. Size. Smaller than most other herbivores, presumably due to lack of vegetation in low light environments. Assessment. Edible. And last one, I think, is this... No, this is definitely not the last one. Of course, we still have to go for the peeper. But this is the hoopfish. Small, school mentality prey fish with a unique method of propulsion and a distant relative of the bladderfish. Oh, that makes sense. Now I see how it's kind of looking the same in some way. Like, the two green lines that it has around its body. It's like where the bladder used to be from the bladderfish. The antennae. Rather than swimming, this life form uses defined green antennae which encircle its body to alter the composition of the water in front of it, allowing it to sail into the low density space created. Cool! That's awesome! Purple-green coloration. May be a camouflage adaptation for mid-range light wavelengths, possibly indicating the hoopfish is more active at dawn and dusk. Alright. Behavior. While schools of hoopfish will form periodically and evade predators en masse, this behavior is more social than it is defensive, and lone hoopfish are often found hunting for food and displaying generally curious behavior. Assessment edible. The hoverfish. A small, cautious herbivore commonly found in kelp-rich environments. Charged foot pads. 6 unique limb appendages feature charged pads capable of ionizing the surrounding water. The hoverfish uses this ability to maintain its position against the currents as it feeds from kelp and lichen. Lichen. Assessment edible. We know. We definitely know. The peeper! Oh man, gotta love them peepers. A fast prey fish encountered in shallow waters and rich in protein. Developed side-facing eyes. Capable of discerning colors, not just in shallow waters, but in a variety of lighting conditions. It is also able to close its eyelids, thus preventing light from reflecting off the lenses and rendering the peeper almost invincible to nighttime predators. It has powerful fins. Well, we know that because it's very fast. This species has evolved powerful fins, which enable rapid acceleration in still water, and the ability to leap meters into the air to avoid pursuers. A beak. Likely used to break down corals and tough vegetation, an unusually large nasal cavity serves no obvious purpose and appears to be specially evolved to detect a single specific enzyme. Nothing encountered on the planet so far produces a matching odor. Okay, that's kind of weird. Expulsion tubes. The tubes attached to the peeper's torso are connected directly to its stomach and gills, and appear to be designed to expel its content on demand. Purpose unclear. If it eats something it shouldn't have eaten? I don't know. While the peeper is well adapted to survive in shallow waters, a number of its features serve no discernible purpose. It would appear to be just as well suited to survive the deeper waters, and is somewhat more intelligent than your usual small herbivore. Assessment edible. High calorie count. Further research required. We can know more about the peeper. That's cool. The Reginald! You gotta love a fish whose name is Reginald, right? Hello, Reginald. A small herbivore and a distant relative of the common peeper. Yeah, I see the likeness indeed. Sharing that species' well-developed side-facing eyes. Approximate size and body profile. Coloration. Dull green coloration for deep water camouflage. Luminescent tail coloration likely part of mating behavior. Diet. Filters algae and other plant material from the water via 4 gill-like forward-facing orifices. Right. Assessment edible. High calorie count. And the spadefish. Spadefish. A medium herbivore found in deeper waters. A single eye. Observed swimming near to the seabed, from where it can keep its one eye on predators in the water above it. Also mottled green coloration. Commonly encountered in plant-rich environments, the spadefish is well adapted to hide amongst the vegetation. And behavior. Spadefish tend to move in loose shoals, and despite their low speed, will take necessary measures to avoid confirmed predators. Assessment edible. You can see that a lot of these prey fish actually have one eye instead of 2. It's interesting. Then we go to large things. The gasopod. I need to have a drink. Actually. Actually, my character could use a drink as well. Let's have a drink and eat something. And oh wow, it's already decomposing. I need to go hunt for some water. I'll be right back. Woohoo! And here we have all of the water. There we go. There we go. Yes, and we just have 1 bottle of water left. Man, this is so much reading. I'm not sure if I can read all of this just for the time that I have. Oh my god, it just takes so long. Let's just continue with the large. and see what happens, because it's almost dinner time, like in real life time. I need to have food. Maybe I'll have some fish. The gasopod. A slow-moving life form and one of the large herbivores on the planet, providing a substantial meal to would-be predators. The gasopod protects its domain by filling the surrounding water with poisonous and corrosive pods, whose contents dissolve even synthetic fibers. Filtration system. Thick, non-reactive skin and multiple gill layers render this creature impervious to the noxious acid clouds it produces. Well, it better. The algae gland. A bulbous sac-like appendage on the rear end. Yeah, we've seen that thing. A luminescent yellow algae grows inside the sac and produces the poisonous compound. Abdominal muscles can contract, causing the algae gland to emit the noxious compound into the surrounding water. Large pelvic fins. Capable of powerful movement through the water when moving in small herds. I'm still faster. Behavior. Gasopods appear in the to be social in nature and may even use their emissions in their relationship rituals. Their audible calls are likely signifiers of nearby threats or food sources. Assessment. Approach with caution. Acidic pods may be retrieved and repurposed. We can actually gather something from you? That's interesting. The jelly ray, which came from a very interesting place. The jelly ray. This species has adapted to low-light environments with a translucent luminescent body. This adaptation may help to light up the surrounding area for foraging, ward away predators, and identify the organism to others of its kind. Light sensitivity. Smaller creatures have been seen swimming in a jelly ray's wake to take advantage of the light source for their own ends, and the ray itself will approach light sources, perhaps mistaking them for others of its own species. So if I shine with my with my flashlight towards you, will you approach me? That's kind of cool. Assessments, inedible. Yeah, I kind of figured. And the rabbit ray. Oh, that thing is so cute and adorable, and I love it. The rabbit ray. A herbivorous aquatic life form, rabbit rays appear to live serene and solitary lives with few predators, a natural sense of curiosity, and awesomely poisonous flesh. That's not awesome. That's not awesome at all. Ears. Twin orange appendages mounted on the head sense vibration in the water. So you actually use your ears to listen, basically. That's cool! I did not think it would actually have a function, other than looking pretty. Undilutating wings. A markedly similar method of transportation to that of Earth rays. Zero genetic resemblance detected, suggesting these two species independently developed similar solutions to their environmental circumstances. That is to be expected, we are on an alien planet after all. Evidence indicates the rabbit ray is large, side-facing eyes, are relatively recent adaptations. It is likely there are related ray species in other environmental biomes on the planet. Cool, because I love rays. Assessment, inedible, but harmless. Now we have only one Leviathan, of course. The reefback. Oh, you're so pretty. The reefback. This is the last one I'm going to read for today. And how many do we have for scavengers and parasites, though? That's 3. Yeah, the reefback is the last one I'm going to read for now. And then in the next episode, we'll read some more. So, the reefback. This vast life form is in excess of 30 meters long and has been designated Leviathan class. Fortunately, it feeds exclusively on plankton-like life forms in the water. A chitinous shell. Most of the life form's topside and some of its underside is protected by a thick, layered exoskeleton. This suggests an evolutionary path quite different from other organisms on 4546b, most of which are vertebrate in nature. The reefback species has likely been able to grow far larger than other herbivores because anything large enough to break through its shell has long since gone extinct. Enzyme pods. Similar in appearance to the algae glands of the gasopod, these organs on the reefback's underside serve some unknown purpose in its digestive system and are capable of expelling small quantities of stomach enzymes into the surrounding waters. Local microcosm. An array of different barnacle and plant species grow on the reefback shell, thrusting their roots into ancient scars in the chitin and taking advantage of their mobility to avoid predation. Nonetheless, reefbacks will often be pursued by the faster, hungrier herbivores, and thus this Leviathan species is a mobile microcosm worthy of years of study in itself. That is very true, that thing is awesome, and you have a beautiful back. Life cycle. Reefbacks' lifespans likely extend through many centuries. should they survive their initial growth cycle. For the first few decades, their smaller size would make them vulnerable to carnivorous leviathans. Sociable, seen traveling in small pods and communicating by an echoing call, behavior is consistent with low-level sentience. Assessment: harvest plants, small fish, and metal-rich barnacles. That's very true. Okay, so we are going to read the rest of the non-essential things in the next episode, because this is taking a long time to read all of this. So for now, guys, thank you so much for listening. If you like this episode of me talking about marine biology in Subnautica, then give it a thumbs up, and then I will see you in my next video.